Come closer, you who seek the forgotten whispers of the world. Gather round, for tonight we speak of a tale as old as the mountains and as deep as the sea, a tale of the serpent god, the ancient weaver of fates, whose coils once encircled the very heart of existence. Picture this, a colossal serpent, its scales shimmering like a galaxy of emeralds and sapphires, now dulled by the encroaching dust of eternity. Its name was Erebor, the beginning and the end, the keeper of cycles. For eons it had slumbered beneath the world, its dreams shaping the flow of rivers, the rise of civilizations, and the fall of empires. Its breath was the wind, its heartbeat the rhythm of the tides. But even gods are not immune to the relentless march of time. The world had changed, the faith that nourished it had withered, replaced by the clatter of iron and the cold logic of men who had forgotten the magic in their own blood. Erebor was dying, its divine energy, once a raging river, was now a mere trickle. As its life force waned, the great serpent stirred for one last time. Its movement was no longer world-shaking. It was a faint tremor, a sigh from the deep earth that only the most sensitive souls could feel. These were the dreamers, the outcasts, the poets, and the stargazers, those who still looked for magic in a world that had declared it dead. They were drawn to its sacred cavern, a place hidden behind a waterfall of shimmering moonlight, their hearts pulled by an invisible thread of ancient sorrow. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of ancient stone, damp earth, and something else. Something akin to ozone and fading starlight. They found Erebor coiled in the heart of the great chamber. Its once piercing eyes, each a sun in its own right, were now clouded over. Its colossal head, large enough to swallow a mountain, rested warily on the cavern floor. It was a sight of heartbreaking majesty, a titan brought low, not by a grand battle, but by simple, quiet forgetting. One among the gathered, a young woman named Elara with eyes the color of the twilight sky, dared to step forward. She had always felt the serpent's presence, a low hum in the back of her mind, a comforting shadow in her dreams. She placed a trembling hand on its massive snout, a touch as light as a falling leaf on a statue. Great. One, she whispered, her voice barely audible, yet it echoed in the silent chamber. We are here, we listen. The great serpent's eye, a milky nebula of cosmic dust, slowly focused on her. A deep rumbling sound, less a voice and more a vibration that resonated in their very bones, began to fill the cavern. It was not a roar of power, but the soft, raspy whisper of a dying god. Children of the fleeting moment, the voice rumbled, each word a slow, deliberate wave of sound. You who still hear the world's true song. My time unwinds, the circle I have kept is breaking, but a cycle's end is not oblivion, it is the seed of a new beginning. The air grew heavy with a strange energy, and visions began to flood the minds of all who were present. They saw cities of glass and light crumble into dust, not from war, but from the hollowness within. They saw a sky choked with grey clouds, where the sun and moon were forgotten myths. They saw humanity adrift, disconnected from the earth and from each other, chasing shadows in a world devoid of wonder. It was a vision of a future built on a foundation of sand, destined to collapse under its own weight. You have traded wonder for certainty, the serpent whispered, a deep sadness in its tone. You have silenced the rivers to build your walls, and in doing so, you have damned the magic within your own souls. This path, it leads to silence, an empty world, echoing with its own loneliness. Elara felt tears stream down her face, not just for the dying god, but for the future it revealed. Is there no hope? She cried out, her voice filled with a desperate plea. Is this the end you prophesy? The serpent's gaze softened, a flicker of its ancient power returning for a fleeting moment. An end, it confirmed, but also a prayer, a final whisper into the loom of fate. The threads are not yet cut, the pattern is not yet set in stone. A new series of visions cascaded through their minds, brighter and more vibrant, they saw. Small pockets of light in the encroaching darkness, a lone gardener planting a seed in a concrete wasteland, its first green sprout an act of defiance. They saw a storyteller gathering children under a single flickering lamp, weaving tales of ancient heroes and forgotten magic. They saw a musician playing a flute by a polluted river, its melody a plea for the water to remember its song. They saw a stargazer looking up at the smog-filled sky, charting the constellations from memory, and teaching others to find their way by stars they could no longer see. The new world will not be born from a cataclysm. The serpent's voice grew fainter, like a distant echo. It will not be forged in the fire of heroes and kings. It will be regrown like a forest after a fire. It will be seeded by the small acts of remembering, by those who dare to listen to the whisper of the wind, to feel the heartbeat of the stone, to see the magic in a simple, growing thing. Look for the serpent stare, the voice was now barely a murmur, each word a struggle. It is not a gem nor a relic of power. It is the first drop of rain on a parched land, the first genuine tear shed for a world you have lost. It is the moment you remember that you are not on the world but of it. Find that feeling, nurture it, let it be the water for the new seed. The serpent god's prophecy was not one of doom but of responsibility. It wasn't a map to a hidden treasure but a call to action for the soul. It was a final loving plea to its children to rediscover the magic they had willingly abandoned. The magic wasn't in ancient artifacts or powerful deities. It was in connection, in empathy, in the courage to care for a world that seemed determined to forget itself. My final breath, the vibration was fading fast, is a gift, a spark of my essence scattered to the winds. It will find root in the hearts of those who seek it. It will be the echo in your songs, the warmth in your stories, the light in your eyes when you look upon the world with love again. Do not mourn me, become the keepers of the cycle, weave a new world from the threads of the old. Remember, with that last fading word, a profound silence fell. The immense body of Erebor, the great serpent god, began to dissolve, not into dust or ash, but into shimmering motes of light. The emerald and sapphire scales turned into a constellation of tiny stars that floated upwards, passing through the stone ceiling of the cavern as if it were mist. They filled the chamber with a soft ethereal glow before vanishing into the world above, scattering across the globe like dandelion seeds on the wind. Elara and the others stood in the empty cavern, bathed in the afterglow of a god's passing. There was no body to mourn, no tomb to build. There was only the echo of a final prayer and a profound, world-altering choice. They had come seeking answers from a god and had left with a question for themselves. Would they heed the serpent's last prayer? Would they be the ones to find the serpent's stare and begin the quiet, patient work of regrowing the world? They walked out of the cavern back under the moonlight, and for the first time they truly saw the world. They saw the life in every leaf, heard the music in the flowing water, and felt the ancient, sleeping pulse of the earth beneath their feet. The god was gone, but its prophecy, its final prayer, now lived within them. The age of gods was over. The age of gardeners, storytellers, and dreamers had just begun. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of myth. If this story sparked a little magic in you, consider liking this video and subscribing for more tales from the forgotten corners of imagination. Until next time, keep listening for the whispers of the world.